Merhabalar. I am a junior here at UW-Madison and I'm majoring in zoology. Uh, my main interest is in environmental conservation, specifically in the marine. So I've been in Turkish for less than a year now, and I'm currently in the second semester of Turkish. So my interest in Turkish actually stemmed from my interest in Russian. Oddly enough, I read a lot of Dostoevsky and Russian history. I was specifically interested in the Bolshevik Revolution. And this show on Netflix, which is Turkish, was recommended to me, Kürt Seyit ve Shura. And it's about two Kremlin-raised Turks who have to flee the Bolshevik Revolution, and they go to Turkey. So you could say I kind of traveled to Turkey with them, and from there I was just kind of exposed to Turkish media in general. They've had, like, in the last 5 years, a real explosion in popularity, and I started to read more about Turkey. And then, of course, in the meantime, I was picking up like a lot of Turkish phrases and words and just like cultural things in general. So then I was like, I need another language, and I thought it would complement my Arabic nicely, so I took Turkish. That's what my decision was based on. At that point, I already wanted to take Turkish, so I just looked it up and found it in the course catalog. So during my program of study, I am interested in actually doing a study abroad in Turkey, if I can, in the summer, and learning Turkish there. After I graduate, Turkish will actually really serve me very well for my conservation job, because people who are hiring for conservationists really want somebody who has a good knowledge of a foreign language and culture that really boosts your application, kind of sets you apart from other applicants. So that will prove to be very useful for me as well. So, in contrast to English, my native language and the only language I can really speak, Turkish is very economic in terms of its word usage. You can say far more with far less, if that makes sense. For instance, if I were to say in Turkish, I am not going to leave, I would say gitmiyorum. So that's one word compared to the 4 English words you'd have to use. And in that one word, you have negation, you have personal ending, and that conjugation, everything is in that one word. Because it's a suffixed language, you just add suffixes, pronouns, case endings, everything. So it's very interesting to me having no suffixes like that in English. But that's very interesting. So I'm currently taking the second semester of Arabic now, and it's a really rare opportunity for me because I'm taking Turkish and Arabic at the same time, so I really have a good platform for comparison. So far, my Turkish is much more advanced in terms of conversation skills than my Arabic. I can hold less caveman-like conversations in Turkish. I can hold longer conversations, and I know more. And I think that it's because in Arabic, grammar is our crutch, so we're very structured in terms of we memorize conjugations and grammar rules, and that's kind of an unnatural way to learn a language, whereas in Turkish it's very conversation-based type learning, which has benefited me more in terms of being able to speak. And I really like that about the Turkish course here. Well, I have not taken advantage of any of those opportunities. They are most certainly there. For instance, there's a language table run by native-speaking Turkish students every week on Wednesdays. It's very organized. There's always a topic of conversation going on, and the students there are extremely helpful and anxious to help other students learn. There's no like embarrassment. Other than that, there is MATS, which is the Madison Association of Turkish Students, and they run a lot of very fun events. They do game night, they do movie nights and culture where they serve food and sing, I believe, even. And that's another great way to use your language. And then beyond the classroom or the campus, you have a Turkish association, American Turkish Association of Wisconsin, which also runs intercultural events and other events that could help you use your language skills. So this is just in Wisconsin. I'm sure in the U.S. there are a lot more opportunities to expose yourself to Turkish speakers. Yes, there is a major difference in my previous assumption of language learning. When I've learned languages in the past, and even here at UW-Madison with Arabic, as I mentioned before, it's very structured in terms of grammar. So you end up learning kind of the art of the language instead of learning to speak the language. So in Turkish, on my first day, we were told to not write, not have our notebooks out, which was shocking to me. A teacher had never told me that before, and I always thought, you need to write all these notes down because you need to memorize everything. But we were told to just watch, listen, and repeat. And that is actually a really brilliant way to teach a foreign language, because that's how we learn how to speak. So I think that's more natural. From when we're kids, we learn by imitation and observation. Well, this is a very hard question because I have so many favorite Turkish phrases and words, but if I had to choose, if I was on a desert island and I only could use one word, it probably would be boş ver, which is a phrase that is very versatile, and it can mean a lot of things depending on the context. So for instance, if you're telling somebody, oh, don't mind, it's fine, like you're trying to like comfort somebody, like your friend, you could just be like, boş ver. It's like nothing. If you're annoyed with somebody or you think they're just being dumb or something, you could say like boş ver, like whatever. And there's just a lot of ways to do it. In general, it means like no worries. It's the Hakuna Matata for Turkish, for the Turkish language. So that is my favorite phrase.
Teşekkürler.
Rica ederim.